You have been lied to, not by one person, not by one diet, by a system that never once looked at the real reason your body is holding on to fat no matter what you do. You cut the sugar, you moved more, you said no to things you loved, and the scale, it sat there and laughed at you. Here is what nobody told you. There is a mineral your body is desperately starving for, right now, today, and without it, your fat cells physically cannot release stored fat. Your insulin is broken, your stress hormones are firing all day, and every single workout you do is running at half power. Peer-reviewed research published just last year revealed that 2.4 billion people, nearly one-third of every human on Earth, are not getting enough of this mineral. 2.4 billion. This is not a supplement company's sales pitch. This is published science, and it explains everything. It is called magnesium. Not a trendy superfood, not a new discovery. It has been sitting in your body since the day you were born, and it is the fourth most abundant mineral in the entire human body. Your body runs on it. 300 biochemical reactions. 300. Every single one of them requires magnesium to fire correctly. We are talking about the reactions that control your energy, your blood sugar, your muscle function, your sleep, your stress hormones, your ability to burn fat. Think of magnesium as the electricity behind the wall. You never see it, you never think about it. But the moment it goes out, everything in the house stops working. That is your body right now. And here is the brutal part. As the years go on, two things happen at the same time. First, your gut becomes less efficient at pulling magnesium from the food you eat. Second, modern stress, the relentless kind, the kind that does not fully switch off, burns through your remaining magnesium reserves like a fire through dry wood. The result is a body that is quietly running on empty, doing its best, working hard, and still not losing the weight. Now here is the part that should make you genuinely angry. Even if you are eating well, even if your diet is better than 90% of the people around you, the food itself is not giving you enough magnesium. Because something changed in how we grow food. Modern agriculture runs on three fertilizers: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Those are the big three. Farmers put them in the ground season after season, and magnesium, scientists have actually called it the forgotten element, because it is almost always left out. When the soil has no magnesium, the crops have no magnesium. When the crops have no magnesium, your plate has no magnesium. A peer-reviewed study in BMJ Open Heart tracked the magnesium loss in common foods over decades. The findings were staggering. Beef lost up to 8% of its magnesium, bacon, 18%, cheddar cheese, 38%, Parmesan, 70%, whole milk, 21%, even vegetables, 24%. And then food processing strips out what little remains. White bread, white rice, packaged cereals, fast food, the magnesium is gone before it ever touches your lips. In the early 1900s, the average person consumed around 500 milligrams of magnesium every day. Today, that number is closer to 250. We cut our magnesium intake in half over 1 century, and nobody told us. So no, this is not about willpower, this is not about discipline. This is about a system that quietly removed something your body cannot function without. Now. This is the part that will reframe everything. Here are 5 specific, scientifically documented ways that low magnesium is directly blocking your fat loss. Number 1. Your insulin is broken. Insulin is the hormone that manages your blood sugar. When it works correctly, your body uses food for energy. When it stops working correctly, which is called insulin resistance, your body takes that same food and packs it straight into fat cells. Magnesium is essential for insulin receptor function. Without it, the receptor does not respond properly. Your cells reject insulin signal, blood sugar spikes, fat storage surges. A 2025 meta-analysis published in PubMed analyzed nearly 1,000 subjects and found that low magnesium was significantly associated with both obesity and insulin resistance. The odds were nearly 3 times higher in deficient individuals. 3 times. Number 2. Your body literally cannot burn fat. Inside every cell in your body, there is a molecule called AP. AP is your energy currency. It is what powers every movement, every thought, every breath you take. Here is the thing almost nobody knows. Every single molecule of AP must physically bind to magnesium to become active. Without that bond, the AP just sits there, useless. And it gets worse. There is a specific biological process called beta oxidation. That is the process your body uses to actually break down fat and burn it as fuel. Multiple enzymes that run beta oxidation require magnesium to do their job. Research published in MDPI Nutrients confirms it directly. When magnesium is deficient, cells become less efficient at burning fat for fuel, making fat loss harder. Even with a clean diet and consistent exercise, you could be doing everything right and still losing this battle at the cellular level because the machinery that burns fat is missing one critical ingredient. Number 3. Your sleep is destroyed, and it is making you fatter. Magnesium activates the GABA receptors in your brain. GABA is your nervous system's off switch. It is the signal that says, it is safe to rest now, you can let go. Without enough magnesium, GABA stays quiet, your brain stays switched on. You lie there tired but wired, watching the ceiling at 2 in the morning. Research from NCBI confirms that magnesium depletion reduces melatonin production, disrupts sleep architecture, and keeps nighttime cortisol elevated, the exact combination that prevents deep, restorative sleep. And here is why that destroys fat loss. Every single night of poor sleep triggers your hunger hormones. Ghrelin, the hormone that makes you hungry, climbs. Leptin, the hormone that tells you to stop eating, crashes. The next day, your body is chemically pushing you toward food even when you are trying not to eat. This is not weakness. This is biochemistry. Number 4. Your stress hormone is storing fat on your belly. Cortisol. You have probably heard of it. It is your primary stress hormone. In small bursts it helps you. In long chronic waves, it is one of the most powerful fat-storing signals in the human body, particularly around the abdomen. Magnesium is the mineral that keeps your stress response system, the HPA axis, from becoming a runaway train. When magnesium is low, the brake fails, cortisol pours out, your body shifts into emergency mode, hoarding calories, expanding fat cells, especially right around your midsection. A clinical study published in Clinical Endocrinology tracked 49 adults over 24 weeks of magnesium supplementation. The result, cortisol excretion dropped, measurably, significantly, not from a new drug, not from an expensive therapy, from correcting a mineral that was missing. Number 5. Silent inflammation is sabotaging your metabolism. This is the quiet one, the one most people never connect to their weight. When magnesium is low, your body produces higher levels of inflammatory compounds. This is not the inflammation you feel. No pain, no redness. It is a slow, invisible, cellular-level fire. Research published in the journal Nutrients connects this low-grade chronic inflammation directly to the development of obesity, metabolic syndrome, and type 2 diabetes. The inflammation damages your metabolism, disrupts your gut, worsens insulin resistance, and feeds the very conditions that make fat loss feel impossible. 5 pathways, all of them pointing at the same missing mineral. Here is a quick check. Count how many of these match your daily life. You wake up tired, even after 7 or 8 hours of sleep. Muscle cramps, twitches, or restless legs, especially at night. Anxiety that comes from nowhere, irritability that surprises even you. A pull toward sugar or dark chocolate that feels less like a craving and more like a desperate need. Regular headaches with no obvious cause. Blood pressure that has been quietly drifting upward. Mid-afternoon energy crashes that no amount of coffee can fix. A racing mind at bedtime. Thoughts that will not slow down. If 3 or more of those hit close to home, your magnesium levels deserve serious attention. Now, before you rush to your doctor, one critical warning. A standard blood test will almost certainly come back normal, even when you are significantly deficient. Why? Because only 1% of your body's total magnesium lives in the blood. The other 99% is inside your cells and bones, exactly where a blood test does not look. This is why magnesium deficiency is sometimes called the invisible deficiency. Your results say fine, your body says otherwise. All right, enough diagnosis, here is what you do. Step 1. Rebuild your plate around magnesium-dense food. Pumpkin seeds are the single most powerful source, about 168 milligrams in one small handful. Throw them on a salad, stir them into yogurt, eat them plain. Cooked spinach delivers around 157 milligrams per cup. Black beans, almonds, cashews, avocado, all strong sources. And dark chocolate at 70% cacao or higher gives you real magnesium with every square, about 60 milligrams per small serving. Aim to rotate 2 or 3 of these into your meals every single day. Step 2. Choose the right supplement, because most are worthless. The most common magnesium supplement on pharmacy shelves is magnesium oxide. The science on magnesium oxide is clear. It has poor bioavailability, meaning your body absorbs very little of it. Most of it passes right through. The forms that actually work all share one thing in common. They end in the letters ATE. Magnesium glycinate is the gold standard. Highest bioavailability, deeply calming through the amino acid glycine, best studied for sleep and cortisol reduction. This is the one most people should start with. Magnesium malate is excellent for energy and muscle recovery, ideal for active individuals. Magnesium citrate is widely available and well absorbed, though higher doses may cause some digestive sensitivity in certain people. For most people, magnesium glycinate taken in the evening, between 200 and 400 milligrams, is the most effective starting point. But always check with your doctor before adding any new supplement, particularly if you are on medication. Step 3. Stop draining the magnesium you already have. This step is just as important as what you add, because you can supplement daily and still stay deficient if you are pouring magnesium out as fast as you put it in. Caffeine accelerates magnesium loss through urine. 3 or 4 cups a day meaningfully depletes your levels over time. Alcohol does the same. Even moderate regular drinking increases magnesium excretion. Chronic stress burns through magnesium every single time your adrenal system fires. This is why high-stress periods often leave people exhausted in ways that sleep alone cannot fix. And refined sugar and processed carbohydrates actually require magnesium to be metabolized. So every processed meal your body has to work through spends magnesium and returns nothing. Reducing these drains, alongside increasing your intake, that is how the needle actually moves. Now the truth, because you deserve it. Magnesium is not a fat loss drug. It is not going to melt weight off you overnight. Anyone who tells you otherwise is lying for a sale. Here is what the actual science says. A major meta-analysis found that magnesium supplementation significantly reduced BMI, but specifically in people who were deficient or dealing with insulin resistance. That is the key. If you are already getting enough magnesium, adding more will not dramatically change your body. But if you are deficient, and statistically, there is a very strong probability that you are, correcting that deficiency removes a genuine biological barrier that has been working against you. Think of it this way. Imagine someone quietly drained half the oil out of your car's engine. You would drive it, it would move, but it would work harder than it should. It would run hotter, it would burn more fuel, and it would slowly break down in ways that seemed mysterious until someone found the missing oil. Fixing that is not giving the car a superpower. It is just letting the engine run the way it was always designed to run. That is exactly what restoring your magnesium does for your metabolism. It does not add anything magical. It removes a sabotage that has been running in the background, silently, for years. So here is the truth this video was always building toward. The reason fat loss has felt so hard, so unfair, so resistant to everything you tried, it was never entirely about you. It was about a system that stripped a critical mineral from the soil, from the food, from the farming process, from the grocery store shelf, and never once told you. 2.4 billion people are walking around in the same situation right now. That number is not from a wellness blog. It is from peer-reviewed research published in 2025. This is not a niche problem. This is a global health failure. But now you know. Tonight, throw a handful of pumpkin seeds into whatever you are eating. Tomorrow, look into magnesium glycinate at your local pharmacy. This week, take one honest look at how much caffeine and processed food might be quietly draining the mineral your body is begging for. Small, real, unglamorous steps, that is what actually changes things. You were never broken, you were running on an incomplete system. Now your system has better information. If this video gave you something useful today, the like button matters more than you think. It is how this reaches the next person who has been doing everything right and still not seeing results. Drop your questions in the comments. I read every single one. I will see you in the next one.